Hi everybody. No blog this week, no blog for the last 2 weeks, so I'm doing my first video log. My name's Brett Della, and for all of those who know me and support me and have signed up and clicked on and liked and sent me personal messages, etc., all the positive feedback, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking the time out and watching this video blog at the moment, this video log. I haven't done a blog for a couple of weeks, and the reason for that is because I've been procrastinating. So I'm used to doing the video, the blogs themselves, and I really appreciate the support that I've been getting from everyone who's been reading those. And when I first started doing the blogs, they were a little bit of a challenge, and especially when I came out of the closet about some of the issues that I had for the first time, it was quite daunting, and it did throw me about a bit. But the positive feedback has been amazing. I do the blogs for a couple of reasons. First, to share my story is to hopefully if I can make a difference in someone else's life, but it's also been very cathartic for me, which has helped me deal with some of my issues that I've been dealing with over the last 30 years or so. The reason why I've been procrastinating about the video log is that it has been, it's out of my comfort zone. It's not something I am comfortable with doing, but it's something that I want to make sure I do to make a big impact on people. So one of the reasons why I procrastinate is because you have that self-doubt. And so for the last couple of weeks, it's like, will I be good enough? Will it be good enough? Will it be perfect? Will I come across as a dickhead on the video, etc.? So all these negative thoughts go through around and around in your mind. And at the end of the day, nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. It's going to be some areas where I swear, where I stumble over words, where I speak too fast. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, as long as I'm getting my story across and I'm making an impact on this world, then that's all that matters. So one of the reasons why I want to do video logs is because I want to start sharing my ideas through the videos rather than just through word, through the blogs themselves. But I also want to start interviewing people as well, and those people who have made a positive impact not only on their lives but those around them, and those people who want to share their stories about what they've been through and how they've come through the other side, and how they feel and what they're, because the emotions are one of the most untold stories about people's journeys. So I'll share some of my stuff at different times. I'll also hope to have people share their stories as well. So I already have a couple of people lined up for interviews in the future. But what I'd really like to do is hear from people out there. So if you do know anyone who's willing to share their story, who've been through some tough times and they've had some issues at different times, and they've come through the other side and they're making an impact on themselves and those around, and then please personal message me or call me or whatever the case may be, and get them in contact with me and see if we can organise a bit of a one-on-one chat that we'll just share between ourselves and maybe with 1 million people on the internet as well. So please let me know and see what we can do. So I'll give you a little bit about my story. I'm a chiropractor, and I live in the country about an hour south of Perth with my beautiful wife and our fur baby. And I've been a chiropractor, including study, for nearly 17 years now, and I love my job. I love what I do because I get to help people every day. Growing up through in the family, I have a very loving and supportive and nurturing childhood. Mum and dad are brilliant, and as well as my siblings. And what happened when I was going through high school and whatnot, I was always the fun person, everyone's friend. As I got older, I was the life of the party, and it always looked like I had my shit together. But what happened when I was 6 years old is a neighbour took advantage of me sexually, and on several occasions I was abused. Now, I try to ignore that. And the psychology, I think, of of someone who goes through a trauma like that, especially when you're young, is you put it in a little compartment and you put it away. And that's how I dealt with it for a long, long time. And it never really felt like it affected me, and I just ignored it. I never told anyone about it, but I felt like I said, it didn't really affect me. But as I got to about 21, 22, things started to change and bubble up inside me, a bit like a little bit of a rumbling volcano, I suppose. And a girl I was starting to see around that time, I was about 22, she was probably about 18 or 19. I told her what had happened. So it was the first time it ever come out of my mouth, that those words that I'd been abused. And so I put a lot of faith into her and the relationship, and the relationship didn't last very long, and she went on her separate ways, and that really knocked me about because I put so much trust into her. But I realised just recently, only in the last, not even the last couple of weeks, that sharing that with a 18, 19-year-old woman, that's a massive thing. And for a long time, I really struggled with where it went. And I really didn't give her enough credit about having to deal with that. It must have been tough, and so now I've been able to let that go. I've let it go at different times, but it's just to another level now. So that was really, there's this thing that affected me when I was 6 years old. It's affected me on so many levels, so that I haven't realised it in a lot of ways, and it's starting to unravel over the last 12 or 18 months or so, and it's a good unravel. It's been a tough unravel at times, but it's been a great unravel. But when we went our separate ways with this girlfriend and me at the time, I was devastated, and I went through this massive depression. My first time I ever really got hit with depression. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to put it in a compartment and put it away. And I was just, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, and it was just a really tough time in my life. And I remember thinking, I don't want to ever feel like this again. So basically what I did was I built up a wall. I put a wall around me, and so my emotions were really, really shut down for a long, long time. And it was the way I dealt with things. I learned it when I was 6 years old, and it'd come back. And when I got hurt again, first thing I did, pressed it down. And so I already compressed down an issue from when I was 6. Now I'm starting to compression other issues as I got older. Not long after that, a year or two after that, I was in the police force at the time. I was in a firearm incident where I was inside an issue for a building for 5 hours and not knowing where the shooter was, and someone had been killed at the time. And of course, in the police force, you can't show any weakness. You can't show that you have an issue, because otherwise you're not a real man, and you're not really, shouldn't have to deal. You shouldn't have to have a weakness, so to speak. So again, I pressed that down, and a couple of years later I was in another one, and again, you can't show a weakness or an issue, so you push that down. And so I went through life pushing down these issues, and when you do that, it's like a volcano. It can only compress down so much before it starts to bubble up and start either exploding or seeping through the cracks. And for me, it seeped through the cracks. And it comes out in different ways. So in my belief, it comes out in either depression or anxiety, come out as anger or addiction. Addiction could be, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, etc., etc. But it also can come out as anxiety or illness, gut issues, cancer. But for me, it was depression. And I was a high-functioning person with depression, and I went through bouts of depression from the age of 22 through to 50, and really did go through months of it, but no one ever knew that I suffered from it. Very, very few people knew that I suffered from depression. I was lucky enough, I with my beautiful wife, she supported me immensely through my really down times, but at no stage did some of my close friends didn't even know, and definitely would never share anything with my patients or the outside world. But it wasn't just those who I was fooling, it was fooling myself as well. I didn't know who the real me was, because I was wearing this mask all the time, this mask that was basically, I'm okay. If anyone ever asked me how I was, I'm okay. If I was having a good day or a great day, I'm okay. If I was having a shit day or a terrible day, I'm okay. And that was the mask I pretty much wore 24/7, apart from when I was basically at home with Kim. And last year I was lucky enough, I did a couple of courses, and I've been listening to some self-help books, and I did these courses, and all of a sudden my mindset started to change. You know, there's other people out there who also have a history and also have issues, and it's okay to ask for help. And I did. I went off and I did this course. Now, I'd been to counsellors and psychologists and all sorts of things over the years, and they helped me get to certain levels of my life, but I never really cleared out that underlying core issue that was really stemming all the way from back when I was 6. And I was lucky enough to do these courses, and they helped me clear out that core issue, that demon that I've been carrying around for 46 years, 44 years. My maths isn't very good, for 44 years. But it also allowed me to build up a really good network of people that I could go to when I needed assistance to help me deal with certain issues. So I was very lucky that the last 18 months or so, I've been able to really unravel a lot of stuff very quickly. I'm in a really good headspace, a really good emotional space, and it's changed me, you know, and it's changed my outlook on life, and it's changed my passion and my views about what I want to do. What it's allowed me to do, it's freed up a lot of energy, it's freed up a lot of belief in myself. And what I really want to do now is, I feel like I've been existing for 50 years, and now I want to live life. I want to live life to my fullest. I want to actually make a difference in my life, but I want to make a difference in my community's life and make an impact on the world, and make a massive positive impact. I want men to know that it's okay to have issues. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to struggle at times, but it's also okay to ask for help. So we have to change that mindset in men. And for me, it's really important that we get that message out there. And, you know, I'm at the stage now that I want to share my story, but I also want others to share theirs as well. I want to start a movement of men, you know, men that are open, that are brutally honest with themselves, that they own their shit, they're true themselves, and to start to live life and not just exist. I want them to find their passion and find their dreams and live that dream, and to deal with their demons and love and laugh and be whole men and be content and be fearless and be true in every sense of the word, as a real man should be. And I want them to join me. I want everyone to join me on my mission. And I want them to change their life, you know, and I want you to change your life now, starting now. So if you have to speak to someone, if you have to tell someone you love them, or you have to deal with an issue, or you have to straighten out something that you haven't dealt with properly, if you want to deal with your shit or deal with your demons and own your stuff, then don't hold anything back and start doing it now. I just want you to remember these 2 words. It's time. There's no point waiting any longer. It's time to deal with your shit and get on with life and start living and not just existing. So thank you for taking the time out. Remember, PM me, personal message me, send me a text, Facebook message, etc. Whatever you want to do. I really appreciate your time and your support and taking the time to watch this message. And there'll be many more to come, I promise, now that I've got my head around this and I'm doing it. So I can't wait to hear from you, and I can't wait to share this journey with you. So thank you very much. And remember, if you've got some stuff to deal with or you need to do it, it's time to do it now. It's time. Thank you.